Owen's making good progress. He's drilling out the holes, upsized into the number 30 Clecos, and he's making good time. So the project tonight is to finish up that top skin, and then both top skins will be done, and tomorrow we can spend some time deburring and cleaning the holes on the top skins, and then we'll have them shift over to the bottom skins while I'm working on the fuel tanks. Left-hand wing auxiliary fuel tank. This is the the bottom skin here. I've already got the D-spar, the aft spar here, the D-spar done here. It's all lined up. So I have this side marked and center punched. This side is mostly marked. I'll finish marking it, center punch it, and then go through and drill. Doing 1-inch centers on here so that they're nice and tight for the seal. Double check to make sure it's centered on that edge, which it is. So just continue down through. And like that, we're done. Gonna swip those out the upside and we'll try it out and see if it fits. The left fuel tank is attached to the bottom skin now. So the moment of truth. And perfect fit. That is exactly what we want to see. So the aft spar with the fuel tank lip is in place, all drilled. I'll have to drill 2 holes here to match up for a couple of holes that I added just to make sure I had a nice 1-inch gap all the way around to get a good seal. 1-inch spacing all the way around the tank and the lip flange of the fuel tank. And we're set. So those are in place, good to go. The next project will be to work on the inspection covers, get those finished up. And once I have those finished up, the fuel tanks will then come out and we'll start working on the hoses and the tubes that connect it to the center section. So just a short tidbit on the auxiliary fuel tanks and the wings. I actually realized that Had I just decided to go with the regular standard wing without the fuel tanks, my wings would be pretty much almost done. We'd be working on just upsizing all the holes from the 40s to the 30s, and then from there we'd just be running the wiring and everything. But I'm actually happy that I added the fuel tanks. It's going to give me that extra 12 gallons, so that extra hour of burn while I'm flying, so it'll be well worth it. A little bit of extra effort added a lot more time to the build, so every little thing you change adds time. So in this case, I was a little frustrated with these at the beginning. Now that I've got them in place, they look pretty good. Hopefully we can get them all sealed up when we put the wing completely together at the end of the process and not have any leaks, and they'll work just like they're supposed to. So taking our time, making sure everything's right, and go from there. So modifications add time. Working on the auxiliary fuel tank inspection cover plates. This one I worked on last time I was down here and used a dimpler tool to dimple it for the top plate and then also for the nut plates. And what ended up happening was it ended up warping the plate as I dimpled. So as you look at it, you can see that edge has curled up because of the dimpling, and it just did not sit flat. And then right there you can see there's a gap between the two plates. And then on the other side, the rivets just didn't have enough head to look good. So talked with Brian, and one of the ones that he did, which is this one, you can see it's not warped. There's a lot more head on those rivets, and it's not dimpled. So what he did was he countersunk all the solid rivet holes for the nut plates and for the flat plate here. So you can see that it sits nice and flat all the way across, and the nut plates sit, and they all have really good rivet height and depth. So I only did this one, so I've got to replace this one, so I've got the new pieces in place. So I'll go back and match drill the bottom plate, which is this plate here and this plate here, and then match drill the center plate, which will go inside, and then we'll go there. And then we've got Owen over here working on countersinking all the holes. So we're using a countersink, and that allows it to match up with this one there. Working on the inspection covers for the auxiliary fuel tanks. Owen got this one done. It's all riveted with flush rivets, solid flush rivets, and looks a lot better than the one that was dimpled. And there's no distortion to it. It looks really good. So finishing up the replacement one for that one right there before we do the nut plates. And so I'm getting the nut plates ready. So the nut plates allow a bolt to go through, and then the nut plates get riveted in place. So they stay on the back side so you can screw them in. So because of the two holes, I'm only doing one side around, and then I'll do the other side in reverse, and holding it so that my hole pattern is going to look nice and uniform all the way around. So I put it in place, put the backing here, rotate it, estimate about where they're going to look, where it needs to be, hold it in place on one side, center punch it, drill it, and cleco it. auxiliary fuel tanks are installed and in place with the inspection covers in. Worked out way better than dimpling, so super happy we took the time to make that correct.